Welcome back, everybody, to Clicks and Bricks. Today is August 21st or 20th? It's the 19th. I'm a whole way in the future right now. Where we talk about business and technology every day. If you like business and technology, please hit that like and subscribe button. I'd much appreciate it. Lets us know that you're following along and you like what you see. If you'd like to join my text line community, the number is 314-370-2871. I'll never try to sell you anything on that text line. I'll just send you information and tips and tricks, maybe some motivational stuff here and there, and things that I just come across if I know about something hitting really soon in the marketplace. And sometimes, actually probably not sometimes, at least once a month you'll get some kind of crypto info on cryptocurrencies. That is one of my big hobbies. Today we're going back to an original question and answer session, and this is all about social media. We've been dealing with a lot of clients with social media problems lately, and we're just going to go through. I've got 10 questions. I don't know if I'm going to get through all 10 of them, but we're going to do our best. First one's from Kayla from New Jersey. Can social media marketing really help my business? I know Kayla. She does art therapy, which is pretty cool stuff. So she teaches people how to use art in a process of therapy, and the answer is absolutely it can help your business, right? So hers is very unique, very similar to one of my businesses. I own a boxing school, and my clients are generally, so this all comes down to when you're doing social media, the audience and who you're talking to. And when you're talking about therapy or for boxing schools, we use social media to really try to get to people that are in life-changing events. That's when people need therapy. That's when people need to learn new skills. So, and inside Facebook and social media, and all of them actually, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, anytime you're doing marketing, you can kind of hit on those key categories. A couple different ways to do that is if in Facebook or Instagram or Facebook and Instagram have the same marketing engines because they're both owned by the same people. So Facebook, Instagram versus Snapchat, both of them you can go in and you can say, I want to target people that are recently divorced, or I want to target people that are in rehab. The way you do that, though, is, you just can't tell rehab. You have to find groups that those people are in. For example, Smart Recovery and AA is a big group that a lot of people in life-transforming situations belong to that need this kind of therapy. So whenever you're targeting that audience, you target those groups, and everybody in those that goes to those groups sees your content. So social media can help. I don't know of a business that it can't help, right, at all. Even if it's like, so if you're building nuclear weapons, right, it would still help to bring knowledge and awareness to nuclear weapons, right, at minimum. So it helps in all cases. Really, where it's really gonna find the sweet spot is whenever you find your voice and you find that significant audience that buys your product, and knowing how to do that is the trick. Moving on to the next question. What are the benefits of social media marketing for my company? And this is Mike from St. Louis. Unfortunately, I don't have his company here on this one. So without knowing the company or what you do, it's really hard to give you really good contextual advice on how it will help your social media or not. So for this one, we'll talk about, we use Hosterian, for example, right? Why we use social media. And we do a lot of generic kind of posts that go out, but we also do some create value posts, right? So I did a post sometime last year that was just a little quick video on a remove my cache from Google Chrome plugin, right? I could have made that post, I could have made that video and just put it on our website. That would have been fine. And then people only on our website would see it. But since I shared it out to all the social media profiles, then everybody in the social media world sees that not only do we provide phenomenal services and have great support, but we're giving free information away, right? And we're building trust and we're building a relationship through social media. Even if we're not talking with people one-on-one, we provided them something that they might use. And if you're a new to web developer and you don't know, easy, fast ways to remove your cache, having a tip of very just click this button to use your cache without, doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Because in developers, you want to really just probably only delete the last hour of cache because you want to keep your passwords and stuff like that safe and where you're logged into on other stuff. But it's a whole different set of circumstances. This is a two-part question, and I'm going to use the second. I'm going to say the second part second. How much does social media marketing cost? It can be all over the board. So I'll give you a couple of examples of what some packages that Hosterian offers. First package, 2 posts a week, generic post, motivational, like Motivation Monday, Taco Tuesday, Friend Me Friday kind of post, or just motivational post booked inside a frame for your business. 2 posts a week to Facebook and Instagram runs about $250. We create the post and post it out there and schedule it all out there. And 4 posts a week is about $500. So those are basics for just filling your Facebook feed and Instagram page with content on a regular basis. We still highly recommend that whoever we're doing that for, if that's all we're doing for them, that they're still creating in-house content to put out there. So real estate agents is a very popular one we do this package for, and we actually have a special for real estate agents because we do so many of them. We do 4 posts a week for $100 a month. But real estate agents are a great example. In today's market, a real estate agent might sell 3 to 5 houses in a month. That's 3 to 5 really great posts that they get to do with their clients that, have this sharing built-in local reach, right? Anytime that you can post something with one of your clients, that's huge. Obviously, a third party can't do that for you. You need to do that. That's your responsibility. We have a service where you can send those pictures to us. We'll doctor them up and post it as well. Most people don't do that because they just want to save the money and they can post it themselves. And their camera on their phone is damn good, right? So there's no need to do a whole lot of work there. And when you're doing those kind of posts, you can go to Mr. Beast concepts and say, hey, it's amateur by design, right? We're not professional. I'm a professional real estate agent. I'm not a professional photographer. We took this picture and put it out there. So don't be afraid to put that stuff out there. And you need to do that as well. That's going to be more beneficial to you than these kind of systematic posts. But the systematic posts, what they do is they keep you top of mind with your audience, right? Your tribe per se. So the second question is, what's the ROI? And I'll use a Gary Vee phrase here. What's the ROI on your grandma? Right? I don't know, but I need her. Right? So there's no way to really qualify it, right? It's a cost of doing business. I don't think you ask for the ROI. We own our building, and I don't ask what the ROI on my building is. I ask for what the ROI is on a marketing campaign, but the social media marketing that's not a direct purchase for ads, I believe is just a bare minimum to do. There's 2 things that I think that you should do for your social media presence, and actually I'm gonna hold that because I saw a question later that I'm gonna answer that. Basically, it's drapes on your house, right? Do you need them to sell the house? No, you don't. Is it going to sell faster and easier if it's there? Absolutely. So these consistent posts of the motivational stuff, but generic kind of stuff, just builds curbside appeal for your business when somebody's looking at it. They know that you care. They know that you're out there. And then on top of that, if you brand it and somebody does share it, so a very popular one is memes, all the different memes, and that. Not even memes, but a motivational meme, right? These sayings from Steve Jobs and things like that. Put them inside your frame so it's got your marketing and branding on it, and then post it out there so that people might share that. It's really hard to figure out the ROI on that stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm sure that you have gone to Facebook researching a company, found their Facebook page, did a little more research, found a competitor, and you went to the competitor because they seemed like they had more depth, right? And if the company doesn't have any depth to it, people are a little hesitant to do business with you. Are going to be there tomorrow? Is it a fly-by-night company, right? We just had in St. Louis, we had a giant hailstorm, and these fly-by-night roofing companies are all over town driving their trucks and crashing in mailboxes and crap. But half of them you don't trust. So I go to my insurance company, or I go to their Facebook pages, and if I can see that they have 100 photos of other roofs that they finished, I might use them. But if I see nothing on their Facebook page, I'm probably going to go to the competitor at that point. I'm going to use whoever my insurance company says, but that's a different story. Moving on to the next question. We are 10 minutes in. Today's episode is brought to you by Hosterian, as always. Great hosting services, everything from co-location, dedicated servers, down to your basic website. So any of those services and everything in between. If it's on the internet, we can service it. Next question. Which social media platforms should my business have a presence on? This is an important question. A lot of marketers will say every one of them. I'm going to say you should be on the social media networks that you have an ability to thrive on. That you know how to contact your audience. So if you don't have a TikTok plan, don't create a TikTok platform. You might want to create the account to like secure the name and just put a video up linking them to somewhere else. Like, hey, this is where my stuff is. I don't really use TikTok. Put an explainer video up on why there's nothing there. But if you don't have a strategy for TikTok, don't just take your Facebook posts and put them on TikTok. That shit ain't gonna work, right? It's just not. A lot of stuff will work on TikTok. I've struggled with how to do it on TikTok. I'm live on TikTok right now, and we go live on TikTok for Clicks&Bricks, but that's really the only TikTok marketing that Hosterian does. But for my school, TikTok's a wonderful thing, right? We go live with our training sessions. We go live with when people are sparring, all kinds of stuff. So it's and Hosterian does more on LinkedIn than Facebook and Twitter and all those others. So because we're a B2B company, we go where the business people go to buy. So where should you market your services or products? Whatever makes the most sense. If you're B2B, obviously LinkedIn and Facebook make a lot of sense. If you're business to consumer, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok all make a lot of sense. However, your buyer is on all of them. The world is a huge place with lots and lots of people. There's a potential buyer for all of your products and services on all of the platforms. So pick which one you're comfortable with, figure out how to talk to your audience on that platform, and then move forward. Once you've gotten good at that and you've got that process down, add another platform if you can. If it makes sense to. If it doesn't make sense, don't do it. Or if you don't like doing it, don't do it. Pay somebody else. Next question, number fifth question here, and we might get all 10 of them in today. We'll see what happens. Does my company really need a blog for social media marketing? The default answer is yes. This is from Todd from California. The default answer is yes, and I'm going to kind of say, I don't think it does. But I'm going to tell you why it would be helpful, right? So I don't think you have to have a blog for social media marketing. It helps to have a blog for organic SEO, search engine optimization, but for social media management, it doesn't help that much, other than when you if you're going to write content and you're going to do something more than 50 words, right? So you're going to write a how-to article, or you're going to write a white paper, or you're just going to write a silly little story about one of your clients, or a life-changing story about one of your clients. That's great content to go on your blog, and then you get to resource that content for all of your social media platforms, right? So if you have a blog, it's a good tool for, I get to make the content on my website, and then I distribute that content out to all of my other platforms. I think that's a phenomenal way to get work done. Redoing the entire job for each social media platform is exhausting, right? It's time consuming. It's a lot of energy, a lot of money. But that's a really nice trick that you can do. And you can do really cool stuff, like, so if you're a business to business, but you still want to do TikTok, and you wrote a blog article and you put it up there and you linked it on LinkedIn and you linked it on Facebook and Instagram, you can literally go on TikTok, make a quick little video that said, hey guys, I just launched this new, I'll use the one that I used earlier, a new article on how to easily delete your cache from your browser with just a click of the button. Swipe up to view it. right? And then that drives them to your website. So there are tactics that you can use fast and easy on TikTok, Thriller, all the other apps that are coming out, even Telegram, right? You could literally just spam Telegram with here's my new Facebook or my new blog post. So I think the answer is no, you don't have to. That's a personal decision if you need a blog for your website or not. If you have one, it will make things on the social media side easier when you're to get the content. We are at the halfway mark. I feel like I'm talking really fast. Am I talking too fast?
It's all right.
I'll try to slow it down a little bit. The sponsor for the second half of today's episode is inlink.com. Rapport made easy. Inlink.com. My inlink.com account is inlink.com/Ken. You can see all of my profiles, my TikTok, my LinkedIn, LinkedIn business, Facebook profile, Facebook business, my Cash App. If you just want to send me a couple bucks, right? Really easy. You can just go there and click it. Sean's making fun of me. Don't send me money on his Cash App. My wife gets all weird about it. And I'm sure the IRS would have some questions too, why people are just randomly sending me money. If you want to try it, go for it, I guess. Inlink.com, Rapport made easy. Thank you, Inlink, for sponsoring today's episode. Moving on to question number 6. How do I take control of my brand online through social media marketing? So far I've only really talked about organic social media marketing, and then I think that's what these people are asking about. I don't think they're asking about creating an ad on Facebook or creating an ad on Snapchat. So how do I take control of my brand online? I'm going to stop there. I'm not even going to say through social media. The very first thing that you have to do for any business that's brick and mortar, you don't necessarily need this so much for if you're a completely virtual business, but if you're a brick and mortar business and you have an address in this country that you're servicing customers from, and I can't say this loud enough to anybody, you have to have directory listings. It is a must. So whenever you have directory listings, it's one centralized place that you go and you fill out all of your information. When you hit submit, it goes out to, there's different platforms. We've got one that's our most affordable ones of 37 different different platforms that it goes out to. Things like Yelp and Google My Business and your Instagram and all those things. What it's going to do, it's going to make sure that your name, email address, phone number, text line, all of those things are consistent across all of those places. And why is that important? You can look at Google, Yahoo, Bing. If you look at all of those guys like they are, I'm not talking to you, Google. Shut up. My phone assistant is going off trying to help me. So if you look at all of those different providers, what they really are is they're juries, right? They are a jury that's going to go out into the internet, look and see, hey, what all information is here. If they see that your business has a different phone number on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and Yelp, if that phone number is different on those 4 different profiles, and your competitor that's right down the street, it's consistent on all of them, he gets moved to the top of the line and you don't, right? It's that simple. So, and the directory listings is what gets you in that Google 3-pack or the snack pack. It's those 3, it's a box at the top of Google on most local searches that has the citations underneath it. Click here for directions, click here to call, click here to text. That is the holy grail of places to be for a small business, brick and mortar business, anywhere in the country. And the way you get there is directory listings. And it's so affordable. Like our directory listing service doesn't just come with directory listings. It comes with directory listings and review management. And we sell it at $100 a month. $99 a month is what we sell that for. So it's super affordable, and it does a phenomenal job. I don't think I have audio. Do I have audio? I don't see it running at all. It's just turned over? Okay, cool. They're changing the screens on me, and it's making me a little nervous. So directory listings is a must. You have to have them. It's going to help your business. It's the most affordable thing that you can do on social media to help your business grow. Hands down. If you're a brick and mortar business, servicing local clients within a geographical area. If you're not, and you're servicing customers nationwide, directory listings are still important, but they're not as important. You're not going to get in the Google 3-pack nationwide unless you really specify on a zip code that you service. So I hope that helped. I think that's an important piece. The next part is, how do you take control of your brand? You have control of all of your social media profiles. You have Facebook, you've got Twitter, and you've got / your company name on all of them. My wife owns a brand called Live, Love, Hunt, right? And she makes stuff for women that enjoy the outdoors and hunting. And she has every single she has the trademark for Live, Love, Hunt. She's got Twitter, Live, Love, Hunt, and Facebook, Live, Love, Hunt, livelovehunt.com, right? So she owns that on all those different platforms. And as soon as a platform comes out, we go after it. And the people, for example, she didn't have I think it was the Twitter handle at first. Some other girl had it, and we went to her and we acquired that handle from a person. We brokered a deal to hand that Twitter handle over to my wife so that she could manage it from there. So that's how you would do that, right? You would truly, just like you would control everything, you would grab your arms around every single piece you possibly could and hold on as tight as you possibly could, right? And if somebody was getting close to your brand, you would fight them with every ounce of energy that you have. So that's how you would take control of your brand. First, online directories. Second, have a consistent message across all platforms. And then third, get as many platforms with your name as possible, right? And if your name's not available on a specific platform, go fight for it. Ask. And don't ask once. Like, that's so lame. Like, I've had so many sales reps and people come to me and say, hey, I tried and it failed. Like, how many times did you ask? Like, once. I'm like, well, shit. If I would only ask my wife once to go out on a date with me, we would never be married. My kids wouldn't exist, right? I think I asked her every week for a year for our first date. So don't give up on one. Man, that's so lame. I don't know when you should give up. I probably don't give up fast enough on most things. With that said, I generally get everything I've ever wanted. I just haven't wanted enough things, I guess. But so moving on to the next topic. How long does it take before I start seeing results with social media marketing? Instantly, you see your post on Facebook. Instantly. When will you start seeing what is results, right? You see the results of social media marketing instantly because your post is out there. If you're talking about sales, that's a wildly subjective question. You probably won't see anything really quickly. What you will see is likes and things like that, likes, shares. Those are all things that will help grow your brand and reach your brand. And you'll use those things, those KPIs or key performance indicators, how many people liked, how many people ended up calling you over that post, to figure out what are the better posts to make. And I promise you the best posts to make are posts that create value. And the posts that create value are typically, unfortunately for all of us, telling people how to not hire you, right? That's what they do. But that's okay. Get used to that. They're going to hire you anyway. They're not going to do this stuff themselves, right? A dentist all day could go online and say, this is how you pull a tooth, but I promise you, I'm not going to try to do it myself, right? So a programmer is going to program his own stuff if you show him how to do it. But a layman's going to say, okay, I trust this person that they know how to do it because they wrote the how-to, right? So that's who I'm going to go to. It's really simple stuff. As many how-tos as you can get written about your business, about your brand. I think I did a video a couple weeks ago on how to create an online ticketing system with very little money for your business, and it's on our YouTube channel. We use OS Ticket, and it's a really nice video on how to install and create an OS Ticket application and get it up and running. I think it's probably like a 10 or 15 minute video. It's super fast to do. So those kinds of things help tremendously. If you're making content and putting out there that has more value to your end user, you will see, a faster ROI, and you will see results. If what you mean by results is people calling you, you will see that much faster. I wrote my most profitable article ever was a how-to video, and it was a how-to article I wrote on Web Hosting Talk in probably 2002 on how to, and this is so nerdy, how to install FFmpeg on CentOS 3. And I got, I bet you I have today, still from that article I wrote in 2003, I would say we have probably $50,000 in recurring revenue based off of that article alone. right? So it's that powerful. How-to videos, how-to articles are wildly powerful. They build trust in your community. They let people know that you know what you're doing. And then if they trust you, they generally buy from you, right? If they trust you and you have something that they want, it's a no-brainer, right? It's a very, very easy way to get over that hurdle. Question number 8. What time is it? 4:20. 25 minutes. That's not bad. I'll try to rock through these last couple ones, or this might be my last one. I don't know. We'll make the decision 1 minute at a time. How's that? What are some common social media marketing mistakes businesses make? The biggest one that I think that they make is that they think they know what they're doing, and they make a post and it doesn't work and they give up. I think that's the biggest mistake that people make. They say, well, I made a post, it didn't work, I'm done. Right? It's horrible. It's a bad mistake. It does work. If it didn't work, Facebook would not be a publicly traded company selling for what they're selling for, right? People buy from Facebook. You do it. I do it. I do it all the time, right? 10 o'clock at night, I'm scrolling through Facebook. I see something cool for me or my son or my daughter or my wife. I hit the button. The cheaper it is, the faster I buy it. And if I can buy it directly through Facebook, I do. So the other mistake that I think people make is creating a bunch of hurdles to buy their product. I hate when I got to go through a bunch of things to buy your product. There's a lot of times that I know I want to buy the product, I'm ready to buy, and they don't let me. I hate that. Those companies generally seem to be doing pretty well, though. From the outside looking in, they seem to be doing really well. It's just a pet peeve of mine, and I have bought from companies like that. But I think if you're going to do that, you have to have your marketing, your entire strategy on point, right? Posting shit and thinking it's gold, right? These meme posts, Taco Tuesday posts, are shit. They're no good, right? They're literally filler, and people see it. I do it. It's okay to do it, but don't get upset if it doesn't provide results. It's filler content. It's not great content. For me, in our company right now, we do that at Hosterian because we're still finding out, what content people like for our B2C. Because for a long time, we didn't think social media was for business to business, right? It was a wildly big mistake. I guess that's another huge mistake. Social media is not for B2B sales. That's not true at all, right? Think about the CEO of a company is on Facebook. He's scrolling through it at night, right? If nothing else, he's there to see what his kids are up to. But at the end of the day, kids aren't on Facebook anymore. It's only moms and grandmas and dads, right? It's not young kids anymore. We're not using it as a social. We are using it as social media, but we're really using it as more of a communications tool, right? And we don't even know what Facebook's going to look like in 5 years from now. I mean, Zuck has clearly stated the other day, Facebook is no longer a social network. It is a metaverse. They are in the metaverse business now. They are not in social networking anymore. So, what Facebook's going to look like in a couple years from now is insane. Like, I'm having a hard time picturing it, but I believe they probably have the best shot at being close to Ready Player One than anybody on the planet. And I think they're going that way, right? That's what they want to do. They're doing a new VR headset, and they've created this new metaverse. So think about a Sims world that you actually walk around in. Pretty cool stuff. The debauchery is going to be beautiful, I bet, especially when it first kicks off. So they figure out how to manage those guidelines of those communities. I could go off on days on the metaverses. So I'll stop now. Those are some of the mistakes. I'm sure there's more. Try to really put as much value into it as possible. And so, whenever I'm doing stuff, I talk about backups a lot. Right? Backups are huge for our business at Hosterian. So when I talk about backups, everybody knows that you need to back up. So say, don't forget to back up your data isn't really valuable information. But the 3-2-1 of backups, the one local copy, your production copy, your on-site copy, so another backup somewhere in your building, and then another backup in a different city, right? That's best practice. That's the most secure way to secure your data. Your production copy, your local copy, so you can do fast recoveries if, for Solly secretary deleted something, or something went haywire, or drive failed, I can recover really quickly. And then the other city copy is for a Katrina event or a building burning down or things like that. So that's your best practices for backups. And going through that detail is the value, so that hopefully you're teaching somebody something. If you're in the backup, if you're in the IT industry, you're not doing that, then you should know that already. But I've found that there's a lot of managed service providers that don't do that. So if you have an MSP, ask them, hey, how's my data being backed up, right? And really go through and push them on the 1, 2, 3. Do I have a local copy? Do I have a copy in another city, right? And have them show you how that's being done, right? Show you in the interface. They should be able to say, okay, this drive share is in this city and this drive share is in your local business. I'm gonna keep going. It's 4:30. We kind of screwed up today. I had surgery a couple months ago. Not even a couple months, 6 weeks ago. I'm going through PT and I just went to my second stage of my physical therapy. Super excited about that. But it meant that I was at the doctor's today when the podcast was supposed to go off at noon. Still running around getting things done. So I did not make my noon window. So we went live a little late. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. How much time should social media marketing take each week? The actual posting should only take about an hour to 2. Creating the content is where you're going to be most of the work. What I like to advise people to do is get a group of people together, sit down in a huddle, and come up with a bunch of ideas for the week or the month and push them out, or have some systematic way. We have a calendar, social media calendar. It's not on our page yet. But I think by next week, if you go to hostjaron.com and you search for social media calendar, you'll find a free one to download, and that's for the year 2022. So we have a whole social media calendar for the year 2022 already made, and that's going to be ideas for you to post on your social media. So if you just use that, then you can make these meetings pretty quickly and rock them out. You can spend as little as 2 hours a week. You can spend as much as 40. Right, and I think if you want to grow your business, you would be spending more time on it. So, and finally, for the last question of the day, what are some general tips for social media success? There's a lot of tips, whole lot of tips. One, don't be afraid. Don't think that your Instagram profile needs to be spotless, right? Don't go through and delete all that stuff. And then I think a really great thought process, there's no shortcuts, right? There are some shortcuts, but they get found quickly. I think you're much better off just accepting the daily grind, that you're going to have to come in, you're going to have to do this stuff every day, you're going to have to hire people, you're going to have to learn, you're going to have to watch a lot of YouTube, you're going to have to do, and these profiles change all the time. Facebook changes. Not just on a regular basis, but the way they roll code out, it's not even the same for every person, right? Like sometimes my Facebook is different than my wife's Facebook if we're in the middle of a big rollout. So, don't be afraid to try things. Get out there and move. You will suck at first, probably. You might rock at first. I don't know. Some people are just good at this shit naturally. You'll probably suck though. I still think I suck a lot of times. But you just do it, and don't just be okay with it. It's okay. You will not destroy your business by posting stuff on Facebook. A single bad review. I think we did a whole show one day on how to answer bad reviews and tactics for bad reviews, right? A bad review is not going to shut your business down. A lot of bad reviews will do some damage, consistent bad reviews, but if you get, a couple bad reviews in one day, and you answer them all, and you explain publicly what happened, and what steps you did to make sure it's not going to happen again, those bad reviews aren't going to mean shit at the end of the day. So don't worry so much. Get out and move. Learn, try things, change. When you find something that works, do it over. That's the whole BBs, pellets, cannons kind of, or pellets, bullets, cannons. Is the phrase, I think. So you shoot BBs, you try a whole bunch of stuff because they're cheap. That worked. Then you start shooting bullets. Okay, that's still working. Okay, now Now I put a lot of resources into this thing that I've tried on a small scale and it works, tried on a medium scale and it works. Okay, now I'm going to try it on a big scale. So I guess your biggest mistake that you can make is just not trying. That is it for today, folks. I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you got something out of it. I'm doing this for you. My number is 314-370-2871. If you would like to be on Clicks and Bricks and be our business spotlight, go to clicksandbricks.tv and fill out the application at the top menu bar, and we'll get you in the system, and then you could have your own spotlight on Clicks and Bricks. Thanks a lot. Again, my cell phone number, or my text line number. Have I said that yet? 314-370-2871. If you'd like to join my text line community, send me any question about business or IT, and I will do my best to answer it. And my forte is small and medium-sized business. I'm not a big business guy. So if you want to talk NASDAQ, IPO, that kind of stuff, I'm not the guy for you. But I can help you with brick and mortar businesses, small and medium-sized businesses, things like that. So that's it for today, folks. Thank you for watching Clicks and Bricks. Get to work.